I'm Kaylee Mycroft. I'm 28 right now. I have cerebral palsy and I have been a wheelchair user for the majority of my life. I've always been like an active person. I've always wanted to like get involved in stuff and like do what everybody else was doing, and I think that I was raised to say yes to things, and then you say yes and then you figure it out, right? So we're not like pre-planning 6 years of your life kind of people. We're more like, hey, you know what would be cool, like doing this, and then you're like, yeah, that would be cool, let's go do that, and then you arrive and you're like, ooh, how are we gonna do that? So that's kind of the energy that we've always like had around doing active things. And like, so I do like fitness and CrossFit and like running and cycling, and mountains are kind of my favorite place. And I love that I get to confuse people while I do that as well. You know, I'm just trying to do the things the way that I do the things, and the fact that people are confused or like in awe or are anti it, like that's really an interesting experience to go through, because I'm just over here trying to do what I want to do and you're having a whole complex about it. So I really appreciate that I have people in my life who come to me with like ridiculous ideas and believe that they're possible. So Muddy came to me and he was like, we should do something epic. And he suggested this 7 and 7 idea. So running 7 comrades distances in 7 days and finishing with the comrades. And my initial reaction to that was like, oh, that doesn't sound so hard. Like we could do that. Like that's just running a lot. Like it's not, like that doesn't have to be that hard. And I think it's gonna be hard. Like I think you've come to the realization that it's gonna be a lot. And running 7 comrades distances in 7 days is a lot. But I'm excited about it because I think with the pandemic and everything, like you weren't able to do active things. So maybe this is just like our extreme reaction to not being able to do things is just going balls to the wall or something now as like a response, like a trauma response to the pandemic. But also, it's kind of multi-layered for me in that like people think that disabled people can't do hard shit. But the thing is, we're doing hard shit every day. It's just different every day. And so doing the 7 and 7 is like proving the point that we can do hard things. And it can be epic just because it's a hard thing, not just because I'm a disabled person doing a thing. And it's also that we've done comrades before. I'm going for a green number because I need it in my soul. And also when you have a green number, nobody can deny that you were there. Like they put your name on a wall and stuff, and you like. So a green number is you get your green number when you've successfully done 10 comrades marathons, and it's like a recognition of your commitment to the race, and like it's a permanent number, so it's yours forever, and it's just epic to get one of those. And because also the thing with the green number is that you know that anyone that has a green number has actually done more than 10 comrades, because I don't think it's super possible for people to run 10 and get 10. Like, it's always more. There's always going to be like 1 or 2 comrades where you like didn't feel as great, or like you miss a cut-off by 90 seconds, or like something's going to happen where you don't finish, and that's okay. So it's just like the wealth of experience and wisdom in the green numbers is like a phenomenal thing. And I want one. So we originally were going to run from like Joburg to Maritzburg, and we realized that was a bit problematic. So we also want to be able to build gears and for people to support us on the route, which is not really possible if you're running like from one point to another. So we've decided we're going to be in centres between Joburg and Pietermaritzburg. We're going to be in Bloemfontein, and then we're going to be in Bethlehem, and then we're going to be in Maritzburg. And we're going to run 30k routes or 10k routes that people can join us on, running or supporting. And we're going to make it up to 90k's a day for 6 days. And then we're going to run 87 on the 7th day. And then we're going to sleep for a really long time. So obviously we don't want this to just be like an awareness campaign. We want it to be something that has legacy in impact. And so we're using it as a fundraiser as well. And the big goal is to raise R1 million. We want to get 500,000 for the Katie College preschool, which is inclusive. And if we get 500,000, we can support the running costs of the preschool for a year, which is amazing. And then the rest of the 500,000, we want to raise 500k for 10 custom-made wheelchair joggers, running wheelchairs. We call them joggers. It confuses people. But eventually people are going to get on board with the terminology and remember, we're not building people to... but each jogger costs like 50k to make, because they are customized to the individual adaptive athlete. So we want to make running accessible to people who are or would be assisted athletes. They just need access to equipment. And I think the fact that running is kind of deemed the most accessible sport to people, because if you're non-disabled, all you need is a pair of shoes, and you don't even need a pair of shoes, to be honest. You can just go run. All a disabled athlete needs is the equipment and a person to run with them, if that's your level of disability. And so we, having had the experiences of running that I've had, and it being this incredible learning experience and like growth opportunity, and like just to be able to participate in events the way that we do it's an incredible thing, and it's such a privilege to be on the road with other people. And like running feels to me like, now we've had to work at it a little bit, but you feel more equal in a running race because everybody is there with the same purpose and the same objective, and it doesn't matter how you're getting through the race, everyone's moving towards the same thing. And why should disabled people be denied that just because we don't have the equipment to make that possible? We don't think it should be. So 500,000 rand to get 10 more disabled assisted athletes on the road participating, experiencing running, and growing the inclusive attitude in running would be amazing. So it's funny because I think there's a weird assumption that when you're disabled you will do the short ones. Like I don't like 5Ks, and like I don't like a 10K race. Like I am built as an endurance athlete. I think that, and it's taken me a while to like reach that conclusion and to be okay with it, because I think there's pressure to like inclusion at all costs, and like you should want to be in every race because you're raising awareness, and like the 10Ks need you too, but like for myself and like with my disability particularly, like I can do a 10K, that's fine, but I prefer the long distances because it's more of a learning experience for me. I like the long distances because it proves to me that I have like the mental strength to do it. And I think with being a disabled athlete, you have a lot to prove to people, just inherently. The way that I have to occupy space on a road race is like, I have to be a loud disabled person. I'm challenged in that way. I have to find my voice, and it took a while for me to not be like, hi, I'm so sorry, like I'm in your way. Like now I'm like, hey Steve, like, how are you doing today, buddy? Like it's a good day for running, don't you think? Have a beautiful run. Like, so I'm more vocal now because I've learned to do that through running. And I think one of the big things that I've realized in being a disabled athlete and doing the longer endurance races is that it takes a second longer for people to give me the recognition. So when we run, my partners will get recognition from the get-go, and they're like, wow, what a phenomenal person you are. And we can talk about all those nuanced layers later, but like they get credit for like showing up at the start line with me. And the way that people speak to me is different. So people will say to Muddy, they'll say, good luck. And then they come to me and they say, in a higher pitch, they say, enjoy. Which is very different. They mean very different things. You're saying different things to us, even if it's the same kind of like energy. So I realized that sometimes I have to frustrate to get like respect and acknowledgement of my effort as an athlete, because and doing the ultras, people are kind of like, oh, we're at 60 Ks and she's still awake. Like, that's kind of the energy that happens sometimes, that people don't think that I'm actively participating in what we're doing. So the fact that I'm doing it for 12 hours and like being actively engaged and like saying to people still at like 65 Ks in, being like, morning Jeff, how are you doing? Like, people don't really expect that. And so at that point, I get the respect and people start saying, good job, instead of, are you having fun? Because let's be honest, disability or not, 70 Ks into anything, nobody's having a good time. Like, if they tell you that they're having a good time at 78 Ks, bullshit. Like, maybe, like, in your soul, you know it's what you want to be doing and, like, you wouldn't be anywhere else. But, like, let's just be real for, like, 5 seconds. Like, you're not having a good time that whole time. So you asking me if I'm having fun is, like, disrespectful to the work that we're all putting into being on the road. But Muddy. Muddy is an interesting human being. It's very complex. I started running with Muddy in, like, 2017, I think.
Everyone calls me Muddy. You'll hear that a lot. We went through I think that first year alone we did 12 marathons. I'm a bit of a nutcase when it comes to, like, extreme stuff. Like, I'm a big guy. I'm not. If you look at me, I'm not. No one's going to go, oh, he's a runner. And I think that perception for both of us is a driving factor. No one goes to Kaylee, oh, you've done 6 Conrads, oh, you've been up Kilimanjaro. Not a chance. It's a perception. Oh, Jesus, like 105, 108 kilos. Can throw some weight around, but never run 100 Ks, you know? And the perception of it's impossible, they can't do it, is a hell of a driver. You know, I'll see you at the end. Keep up.
I think it's important at this point to point out that I am sort of like my own running development program. The way that people, like, we have Anita, who's also an assisted athlete, she's run with Hilton forever. Like, he's the only runner that she's ever had. I am not that. I think at this point, it's funny, I've had like 23 running partners or something. And it's just, like, amazing how that works out. Like, I'm sort of like, oh, I want to do this race, who's going to run with me, guys? And it was kind of an interesting experience to have Muddy as, like, a stable running partner, because I hadn't had that before. And there's a whole lot of, like, disabled internalized stuff with that, of, like, people not being reliable and, like my disability being too much for people, and, like, there's a whole lot that we can go into that we don't need to go into, but Muddy arrived and he was like, let's do this thing.
Sure, running with Kaylee. I want to get to the finish as quick as possible. I'm joking. No, sure. The best way, running with Kaylee is literally like running, it's the same ups and downs as you get in the comrades. And not in a negative manner, not an up and down. It's the ebbs and flow of both emotion, conversation, physical body trauma that you're having in the moment. There's the physical side of the runner. There's the physical side of Kaylee as the athlete as well. Everyone assumes she's just sitting along for the ride. It's not the case. There's a shit ton of effort on her side, both mentally and physically. She's a hell of a support both to win. So I'm a very loud human being for the most part, and we're always joking and having jokes. But when I get serious, there's a quiet moment, and you'll know it very quickly.
It's been really interesting how our friendship has evolved through the process of like 6-7 years of how many? 6-7 years of running together. Like I think in the beginning it was we've had some conversations about like I need you to not say to people that you're running for, like you're not doing this for me, like you're running with me, and that difference matters. Like it's important that you say it that way. And I think it's been like an intense but like really good learning experience for both of us because Muddy is very much a person who like, this is the plan, here's the plan, we're gonna execute the plan. And I'm like, I understand that there's a plan, I see the plan, I appreciate the plan, but we need to have 5 other plans also. And also, here's what each step of the plan means to me. So I think we've sort of found ways of working that together so that we are not like, he's the calm one and I'm the dramatic one that just like panics about everything. I still panic about everything, but like we've got a handle on it most of the time. It's funny because on the road, people are always confused by like anything that's different, and I think it's funny because there's huge banter that happens in the team, and Muddy will make comments to other people, and they're like, "What?" And I think it's hilarious, and they don't know whether to take him seriously or not, or to take me seriously in the comebacks. And like, there's a lot of chaos on the road, you know? And he's also like a really big guy. And so it's it's nice to me because he's very protective of me and my feelings, and we've reached a point in our friendship where like he kind of knows how I would be interpreting something, and picks the moments when he's gonna be the advocate, and like when I can handle it, or like when he's gonna like step in and be a little bit of a big brother, which is nice as well.
I think one of the big things is over all the races, we started to understand that. It's not expected that you're going to be feeling phenomenal all the time. It's just not possible. You're going to hit the walls. And you're not in sync in the sense like, oh, we hit the wall at the same time. To be honest, which is a great thing, because you then lean on each other, whether you want to in the moment or not, because you're feeling so cuck. They're like, shut up, leave me alone. They managed to get you through. But we've created a bit of a system which works exceptionally well. And it's 3 minutes. There's a simple chirp that we have to each other, and you can see it we've started counting it down effectively, and you've got 3 minutes. And that just says, all right, take your moment, deal with it, but get over it. Let's carry on. And you've got 3 minutes. You're allowed that moment. We're not saying you need to get over it, like park it. No. Process it, go through it. All right, now your time's up. We got to get back to business. And it's kind of like that scenario. So you'll often hear it on the road. You got 3 minutes. For the most part, it started a lot more with Kaylee. But over the years and the challenges that have come through, it's actually started swinging the other way. So I've had the chirp said to me. I did give you a couple extra. Yeah. But which I'm not used to the 3 minutes, so I think I took like 30 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, that is sort of the communication and the sort of trend that we've created ourselves. It helps us. Cool, we still got something to get done. It's cool. Go through it. Let's move on. Okay, so 7 in 7 effectively started as let's run 7 comrades in 7 days, but run from Joburg to Durban or Pietermaritzburg and then in 6 days, and then on the 7th day run the actual comrades. That evolved a little bit to, well, it's very dangerous in terms of the roads that go down, so it's now 6 comrade distances over 6 days, okay, and comrades on day 7.
But I'm excited that we're spending 3 days in Bloemfontein, and we have done a lot of work in Bloem, and we have ambassadors coming who are involved in our programs, and we get to share the experience with them. We get to build the networks that we've got and make new friends, and I think also just I'm excited for the drama. I'm excited to take on a challenge that we don't know whether we're going to be successful. People are like, are you feeling confident? I'm like, mostly, relatively. But we've done comrades, we know we can do comrades. We don't know what's going to happen. We're trying to do it 7 days in a row. We don't know. And I like that aspect of uncertainty. I think I exist as a disabled person with a level of uncertainty and mistrust for the universe working in my favor, but I think this one is different because I'm choosing this uncertainty, and I think that makes me feel empowered by the challenge as well. I'm choosing to test whether we can do this or not. It's not society being like, Kaylee, this is not possible. You should not be doing this. This is me being we should try that. Let's just go see if it's possible.
The look on someone's face when you tell them what you're about to go and do or what you've done is absolutely priceless. And that's not freaking possible. No way. And it's just, I love it. Feed off of it. Someone says you can't do it. Feed off of it. Let's go. Yeah, that's it. Simple. The sheer perception that there's no way that human being can do that and it's done is number one.